Thank you again for coming back to my channel, Makeup by Melody. I am Melody, and if we haven't already, let's subscribe right down there. If you do like my video, give it a thumbs up, and if we're not friends and following on Instagram, let's do that too. So this is part dos of the eyebrow tutorial. If you haven't already, the first one is a more natural look, shows you how to clean up your edges. This one is more about subtle shading. So if you have sparse areas like this right here, or your very end like that, and you want to just fill in and not be over dramatic, well, let's not say over dramatic, you don't want a bold brow, you just want to fill in sparse areas, you want your natural brow to be nice. We're gonna focus on that today, okay? So first things first, we are gonna take Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. If you haven't already, I'm gonna leave the link down below in the description box so that you can see part one. The whole point of using the eyeshadow primer is so that they are actually tamed and sit down. That was a huge blob. Anyway, so basically, put this on the brows so that everything can stay still. Just like it says on the NYX brow pomade, we want to tame and frame, right? And we already went over this, our eyebrows frame our face. So let's make sure we are doing that exactly. All right. Now, last time I did explain to you what brushes I'm using. I'm using the same exact brushes. They are by Wet n Wild. And I'm just gonna go over again the prices. This Wet n Wild angled brush was 99 cents. The Wet n Wild concealer brush was about $1.09, and then the Wet n Wild crease brush, which is basically a blender brush, I believe this one was $1.99. Came out to like $3 something with $3 and change with tax. So I'm gonna leave the link for this down below to certain drugstores if you want. First thing I'm gonna do is grab my number 12 Anastasia Beverly Hills brow brush. This is my go-to for everything. But today, instead of using my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Ebony, I'm going to be using NYX Tame and Frame. And we're gonna be using color Espresso. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with this. Don't think that it's gonna be a little too crazy, it's not. What I'm gonna do is actually grab a bunch of the pomade, right? So I'm gonna kind of like scrape across. And what I'm gonna do is just apply it on the back of my hand like so. Why am I doing that? The reason I'm doing that is as I'm filling in the sparse areas of my eyebrow, I can just go to the back of my hand and little by little add in. And we are gonna be using light brush strokes. We're not gonna be pressing down hard with the brush. We don't want a dramatic overfilled brow. We just want it to continue that natural look but make it look fuller, okay? So I'm gonna inch up a little closer, all up in your face. There we go. We're gonna start with light brush strokes. I'm gonna focus right here first because you can see I over tweezed. Let's get in here and fix it. So light brush strokes. So looks a little darker already, right? Every little stroke you do, don't worry about it. You can always go back and just blend that sucker right in. Okay? You want it to just blend with your hairs. You don't want to overdo it. Now I'm gonna brush down in all those sparse areas. I'm just gonna start filling in as so. We're not overdoing it, remember. Just very lightly, okay? I'm gonna grab some more of the pomade. Alrighty, so I seem to be a little sparse over here as well. I'm gonna grab some more pomade off the back of my hand, like so. And we're gonna go in again. Now what I'm doing is just gliding with the hairs, okay? So you're just gonna go with your hairs and stroke against them. Remember to stay within your natural shape. You don't want to do anything out of the ordinary, okay? Sharpen that line on top by going across, like so. Now we're gonna go back to the beginning where I first filled in, and we're gonna keep it flat. Don't point up, keep it flat. And we're just gonna go across like this. I'm gonna keep following that line you have. Like that. Now if you look here closely, you can see how defined the hairs are now. Sharper, much more defined. Whereas this one over here, you can see all of the spots that are not filled in and missing. See that? See that? Especially here and here. Jesus Christ, what did I do? And then you go back to this one. And you have it more pronounced, more full. So I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in the color Light, just like I did last time. And, I mean, feel free to use any concealer you want, of course. This is just my go-to for my eyebrows. Okay, so now that I have the concealer right here, I already applied some onto the angled brush. Now we're gonna clean it up on the edges just like we did in part 1 of the video, okay? Be sure that when you are doing this, that you're using light brush strokes. You don't want to press too hard. The difference between this one being blended in and this one not even having anything filled into the sparse areas, what a difference it can actually make. Okay, now we're gonna be taking that Wet n Wild concealer brush and I'm just gonna blend it around, okay? And again, if you are going to be doing any eyeshadows or brow looks, you can come down with your concealer onto the lid, or you can use an eyeshadow primer, whichever is best for you. Right over here where it actually came out, I'm just gonna blend that in right over here. Very, very lightly. Such a difference that makes. I mean, look at that. Such a difference. And this isn't even my bold brow look. Okay, now I'm gonna be taking the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. This is gonna define the brows even more. Just gonna go in. I'm gonna stroke up first. These brows are a little long. I didn't trim those when I tweezed. I don't know why. So I'm gonna go up and then across. Up and then across. And here, just gonna stroke down. Over there. There we go. I'm just gonna do a close-up so that you can see. This is like with the sparse areas filled in. Right side over here, nothing is filled in, nothing's cleaned up. So this is like subtle shading. It's nothing crazy. The first part 1 that I did was more just cleaning up the edges around and using the brow gel. This one is actually filling in your natural brow. A lot of my friends ask me, you know, like that don't wear bold brow looks, how they can fill in. I hope you guys really take this look into consideration, okay? I'm just gonna do my other side and come right back to you. All right, ladies, so I did complete the other side so that you can see all of my sparse areas are filled in. I'm gonna come in close so that you can see right over here. See, everything's filled in just right and looking all good. I hope you took away from this video. Leave your comments down below if you have any questions or you want any other tips that I can give you. Let me know, okay? See you on part 3.